It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That's from the Long Way Home release that is Sunless Days. And I know you wanted to take a break there, Chris, but just thought I'd kind of recap my weekend last week and get into Joel MacGyver.
All right, let's do that.
Well, last week you went to a wedding.
I did.
Which I'm sure you might have something to say about that later.
Yeah.
And during my weekend off, I went over to some podunk town in southwestern Ohio called Versailles, or if you want to use the proper pronunciation, it's Versailles.
Versailles, Ohio.
But people say Versailles.
Right.
Went to a Dokken show, some newer promoter guy who basically wanted to bring them into town, and this kind of ties in with our in-studio guest that's going to be coming in.
Yeah.
A guy who is he's a successful businessman.
Sure.
He owns several businesses in the area. He built an indoor go-kart track.
Okay.
It's this big pole building. If you ever been to like a skating rink or something like that,
Yeah.
it's a big building.
Okay.
And it's brand new, and they hadn't even used it yet for the indoor go-kart racing.
Okay.
So instead, he brings in a full PA, a full stage, full lighting rig, and he's bringing bands in to play for the fine folks of Versailles, Ohio.
Okay.
Versailles or Versailles is about 25 miles kind of west of Dayton.
Yeah.
And it's out in the middle of cornfield country.
Okay.
And Dokken played there last week.
And how was the show?
Well, the show was okay. There was probably maybe 400 people there.
Okay.
But it was like an indoor arena. It was like a small indoor arena.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, those bumpkins out there were so excited to have a real live national act come in there and play for them.
Holy shit, we're going to be rocking with some Dokken tonight, boys.
And that's exactly how it was, too. A lot of women with bleach blonde platinum bottle hair job, and guys with the bad tattoos, the sawed-off shirts, the Billy Badass hats on, you know, the baseball caps or the cowboy hats and the overalls and jeans. You know, and they were pleased as punch to have Dokken come in there.
Now, you know where you and I both are failing the Classic Metal Show fans?
What's that?
We should be out there with the Spreaker app interviewing these fucking bumpkins at all these shows.
You're probably right.
Dude, we should just be like, hey, I'm from the Dokken camp. Can I do an interview with you? And just ask them questions.
Well, I had people walking up to me because I was going out to front of house to listen to the sound out there.
Okay.
Just to see how it was. And the PA was a little underpowered. Tonight, Jack Russell is out there playing.
God damn it. First some Dokken and then some fake great white.
Exactly.
She-yacht.
Exactly. So, you know, Don, you know, was very skeptical about playing this. He was just like, oh, this is just going to be a disaster. This is a new promoter. Right. He doesn't know anything about, you know, bands or doing this thing right. And he said, we'll be doing this next week. Will be Danger Kitty playing bar mitzvahs. But actually, it didn't turn out that bad. It was, like I said, it was a good-sized venue. There was about 400 people there. It was out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
And the promoter guy, he tried hard to do it in a professional manner, you know. He had a big stage, a good-sized stage, big lighting rigs.
Which stage looked better? This guy's stage or that stage that we saw in Wisconsin?
It was about the same size.
Okay. But I mean the actual stage itself, because that stage in Wisconsin looked fairly cheap.
Well, this one wasn't any better. It was just a plywood stage, you know, big rickety plywood stage. It was probably about 5 feet off the ground.
Okay.
And, you know, a PA system, and, you know, people were just, they were excited. They were excited because I'd go out to the front of the house and I'm standing there and I'd had people walking up to me and said, so how's it going? Where are you guys heading to next?
Hey, buddy.
You know, we've been waiting for a long time to get a band like Dokken here.
Do you think you can get me a picture with that George Lynch guy up on the stage?
Well, I did have people handing me their cell phones and asking me to go up front and take pictures of Mick Brown and take a close up of Don, and could you take my phone over there and get a picture of him?
Hey, buddy, if I show you how to take a snapshot of my phone, you think you could get on stage and get me some wild Mick Brown picture? I know I'm not cool enough to meet him.
Well,
just a cool picture would be awesome.
You could have been that guy, because that's almost exactly what he said.
God damn.
That is no shit. That's no lie. Could you get over there and take a picture of that drummer, that wild Mick? I was in a band back in the 80s, and we opened up for Dokken, and we hung out with Mick, and he was just a character. I'd like to get a picture of him.
He was cool. He actually liked the name of my band. It was called Unchain the Night.
Well, they did do a meet and greet after the show for, the people who paid a little extra on their ticket.
Tell me there weren't people crying.
No, but there were a lot of chicks, though. There were a lot of trailer park girls,
right,
who came out. The real Jeff Tate would appreciate that. But yeah, they did come out, and it was fine. I mean, it was an okay show, but it was just the whole atmosphere and ambiance was just more. It was just funny,
right?
It's just that people who live out there in those rural areas, they don't get out and they don't go to the big town and see the big shows.
Well, and so that makes Dokken the Rolling Stones.
Pretty much. Pretty much. But
that is so funny.
But everybody wanted a picture. Everybody wanted an autograph. People brought their entire Dokken catalog with them, mostly vinyl.
Don, would you kiss my baby?
So of course, guess who was in charge of the meet and greet and getting people through?
Was it you?
Of course. He says, now, he goes, listen. Oh, and that was the whole thing. It was that where the hotel that they were staying at.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have these out west, to be honest with you, but Don had gone to the Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
Early in the day, and had a salad.
Okay.
And they had some kind of a special. I don't know what it was that he was after, but they closed at 11, and he wanted to make sure that the meet and greet was over before it was too late to get to the Cracker Barrel. So we could have some dinner.
What the fuck? Really?
Yes.
So he's like, hurry through this line.
Exactly. He says, come on, goddammit, let's go.
I got to get the big boy breakfast with the pork chops.
Well, we ended up going to the Waffle House because by the time we got back to the hotel, which was like almost a half an hour drive, it was closed. So we ended up going to the Waffle House.
So did you drive by the Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, it was closed. Well, it was right across the street from the hotel.
Oh, nice.
And the Waffle House was just like over the bridge of the freeway there. So
it's like, motherfucker.
He was
one fucking job and you fuck it up.
Well, it wasn't me. He was mad at Sean and Mick because they were dragging their feet. It's like, come on, get in the car, let's go.
Stop signing for these hill jacks. I got fucking pork chops to eat.
So needless to say, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
And then when I got back to the hotel, Sean was hanging out smoking his after show cigar. He's into smoking the cigar after show. So he and I sat outside and just shot the shit about Sons of Anarchy, and he was asking about you, and we were just talking about stuff. We were talking about albums, and
it's too bad that show was before the premiere of SOA. Dude, that fucking premiere was the shit.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, he and I stood outside. He was asking me about you, and we were talking about Sons of Anarchy, and then I was asking him about some Great White stuff, and then playing with Mitch Perry and Ralph Saenz years and years ago, and we were just kind of covering some, past history.
Sure.
And we were talking about Poison and when Great White was on that Poison bill back in '99, and
right.
So we were just shooting the shit and just having a good time, just reminiscing a little bit and just talking about tours and albums and songs and,
Well, that's cool.
That kind of stuff. So it was kind of cool.
That's cool. Well, Sean is awesome, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like Sean.
I like Sean a lot, man. Glad we've gotten to know that guy pretty well.
Yeah, sure. So, and then, of course, John played his ass off, as he always does.
Yeah, when doesn't he? Have you ever seen him?
No, that guy is... He just blows me away every time I see him.
I've never even seen an average show from that guy.
So, of course, he is like the friendliest guy ever.
Yeah,
you all right, dude? You got what you need? Can is there anything I can get you? He's like, no, dude, seriously, just relax.
Yeah, you're the star here. I'm the guest.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you're taken care of, okay? It's fine, thanks.
I know. So we get to Wisconsin. I don't know if I told this on the air or not, but we get to Wisconsin, and John, you guys it was Stephanie and Scotty and John. I'll start talking to Don. Well, I talked to Don for 2 seconds, and I moved on, And in the back room was Sean and Levin. And so Levin's like, same thing. Hey, do you need anything, man? Do you want a beer? You want a drink? You want this? I was like, dude, I'm good. He's like, well, dude, take these passes, man. Maybe you can go meet some girls if you take these passes. And he hands me like a handful of fucking passes. He's like, yeah, maybe you can meet some girls with that, man. Take those out front.
Then he's John's obsessive. He's like obsessive compulsive,
There is.
He said, dude, look at this. Look at this. Do I look okay in this? I don't want to go out there and look like an idiot. What do you think of this? And look at my guitar here. What do you think of this? I just added this piece to it. What do you think? It's like, really, John, take it easy.
Yeah, I know. He's hilarious, man. Like his world's gonna end if he doesn't fucking make nice with everybody.
Yeah, I got stories to tell you. I didn't get to talk to you this week.
Yeah, not really.
But if Don ever gets to the point of writing a book and talking about writing books, we're going to talk to Joel MacGyver here in a minute.
Sure.
But I am telling you, he has got stories for days. Don was telling some hysterical stories prior to the show about having John Norum in the band.
Okay.
Oh my God. I unfortunately can't tell it here on the show, but I have to tell you because it is just, Do
you think he's going to tell some of his Reb Beach stories in a book?
I don't know the answer. But I can tell you that when I tell you these John Norum stories, you're just going to go, oh my God, I'm going to kill that guy before the day's over.
Are they worse than the other stories we know?
They're more about the obsession and the psychological aspect of people. They think that their success or failure is dependent on their personal habits.
Oh no. I can't wait to hear this.
I'm just like, holy shit, really?
To not share this with the audience.
And then, of course, Mick was there.
Yeah. And really?
Yes, Mick was playing with them.
Okay.
And so I got to hang out with Mick, and he had me laughing because about 5 years ago, I flew over to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they were playing a 3-show weekend. They played Minneapolis, Minnesota on Thursday.
Okay.
We drove up to Walker, Minnesota, which is way north in Minnesota, to a casino up there.
Okay.
But a blizzard had come in that night.
Right.
And it was 180 miles, and we had to drive 25 mile an hour the entire way.
Okay.
And we went up through Fargo and up near Brainerd.
All right.
And so Mick was doing all the Fargo impressions. Oh, I think I'm only going to have like one plate of food today. I'm not feeling very good, but the fricassee is pretty good. I was just doing the whole Fargo thing. And he was reminding. He says, "Hey, remember that time we were driving and we went up through Brainerd, Minnesota?"
Right.
We were just talking about that. It was making me laugh.
It Mick's a fucking trip, man. I have not seen. You know what's crazy? I don't think I've seen Mick in like 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah,
I have not seen him in a long time, man.
Oh, he was in rare form.
He's always in rare form.
Oh, he was funny.
We have never had him on the show.
I actually had. I interviewed him once.
Have you?
Yeah, just years ago.
Doing it, or when it was the early CMS?
Well, I did it for Metal Sludge, and it was early CMS.
All right, because I would like to do it now where we could really get him going.
Well, if you look up on the internet, I think Mick Brown, the Classic Metal Show, there's still some photos out there floating around of Mick and I sitting on a bed in a hotel doing an interview together.
Right.
And I used it for the CMS. This was, back in WSTB days.
Right. Dude, we got to get him on.
I think we could probably do it.
Well, that would fall in your lap, and that is something I'm stating it now. That is something I want to do.
Sure.
Because it's one thing to do it on commercial radio. It's a whole nother animal in this. And Mick will let loose.
Sure he will.
We'll have him on for 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, he's a character.
Hell yeah, he is.
So, anyway, well, speaking of stories and whatnot, that was my weekend.
That's cool.
And it was a lot of fun. And, I always just enjoy, I go less for the performance and more for just the hang.
Sure.
Because it's just so funny, just to listen to the stories. I mean, the stories are just amazing sometimes.
Sure.
You're just like, holy shit, really?
Yep.
Mick was telling the story when they were performing over in Europe or something, and they were like in Germany, or they were staying at a hotel, and his room didn't have any windows, and the window that he had just faced a brick wall, and it was like a prison room and stuff like that. And Don plunked down his credit card so they could go down the road to a hotel that overlooked the ocean or something.
Nice.
Stuff like that. And that the rooms were only 10 by 8.
Right.
Just enough for a bed and maybe a dresser or something.
Hilarious.
It's like a little pod or something. and then the travel in the buses over there, and just the horrific accommodations. And we told some Lenny Wolf stories.
Bad ones?
Just another obsession type story. How they require certain things, and when it's not that way, then it upsets their whole chi.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean?
Right, I get that from Lenny Wolf big time.
Why isn't there any toast? I need toast to start my day.
I can't fucking do my show without toast.
Exactly. That kind of stuff.
Dude, get it done. Get that lined up and done.
Sure. We'll do it. All right. Well, anyway, Joel MacGyver, he's an author, journalist. What do you want to?
Sure.
Is that would you call him, a journalist?
He's definitely a journalist, but he is definitely the preeminent author of rock and metal books right now.
And
There's
I know
one bigger ones and better ones.
Yeah, I know that you really enjoyed the Glenn Hughes book, which I haven't read.
Dude, that is what I say this all the time. I'm gonna say it to Joel here today. Best rock book that's ever been written is that Glenn Hughes book. Better than The Dirt, better than the Roth book, better than Kiss and Tell, better than all of them.
Now, have you read the Stephen Pearcy book?
I have not gotten the Pearcy book.
And I heard that's really good.
We got to get it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a hold of that.
Yeah, we need to track down Stephen.
Well, that's not hard. That's not difficult to do. Which, by the way, if you go over to the Classic Metal Show Facebook page,
yeah,
did you see that little post on the comments section where there's a video of Stephen Pearcy doing an interview?
No.
Go over to the Facebook during this interview.
All right.
And over there where people give you links to stuff, I don't know what you call that, the comment area or whatever.
Share or whatever.
The guy that I hung out with at the hotel about a month ago when they had the plane trouble.
Uh-huh.
The guy that I was telling you that was filming for a cable station, Psychobabble.
Okay.
He hit us up on the Facebook and gave us the link to the Stephen Pearcy.
Oh, really?
To the interview.
I'll have to see if I can dig that up.
So, yeah. So that was, you'll see the guy that I was talking to you about. But
okay.
he found our Facebook, or he told me back then that he was a friend of ours.
Okay.
On the Facebook, that is.
Sure.
And he gave us the link to the video for Stephen's interview.
Nice.
But I have not got that book. I heard it's really good.
I want that one.
And talking about a good book, I heard this one is good. It's going to be out, I guess, in October.
Yeah.
David Ellefson.
The David Ellefson book, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk to Joel MacGyver and talk about the David Ellefson book, and then David Ellefson is going to be on in just a little while, so stick around for that. So let's jump into some Megadeth.
All right.
And let's play something from the So Far, So Good, So What release, which, by the way, is my favorite Megadeth release.
I love it. I love all the early stuff. I mean, I don't know, dude. I like almost all of it except for Risk and 13. Everything else I like.
Sure. Well, let's jump into this. This is Megadeth. This one comes from their So Far, So Good, So What. And let's play 502, and let's talk to Joel McIver.
Sweet.
Exclusively here
on your classic metal show.